snapshot, send it to a friend. So welcome everybody. My name is Simon. My channel is Reckless Travels, and it's more about being reckless and less about being travels at the moment. So my today's guest, he's an actor who came a long way to become an actor, a long way, of auditions, struggles, also addictions. But right now he just celebrating his 5th years of an anniversary, and his name is Martyn Hale.
Hello. Thank you, Simon. Thank you for having me. I just hit 5 years clean and sober.
That's amazing. It's really a long, hard way to get it, and probably maybe only addicted people can understand me. And but a lot of people they're addicted without even noticing it, because addiction is much more than dependence on a substance. What about people dependence? What about even eating habits? There's this it seems small habits, but most people not even noticing it. Most people okay, it helped me to deal with my everyday struggle, and they prefer to not see it.
I agree. Everything can lead to an addiction or a bad vice, you may call it, whether it's how you eat, how much sleep you get per night, if you smoke or drink or drug. Even sex can be an addiction. And it's important to stay disciplined in all areas of your life.
So let's take a quick journey. So right now you are 32?
33 years old.
33. So let's take you to 5, 6, 7 years ago. I would really would like to understand the cause of your addiction. What was you struggling with, and what you are sober from now?
Let's restart it.
No, never mind. Don't pay attention. We told him.
Okay.
I'll fix it.
Okay. What was the question?
So the question is, 5, 7 years ago, what was your struggle with? What was your addictions? What was your dependency?
5 years ago, my addiction was alcohol and marijuana. I used to drink alcohol every day. I'd smoke weed every day. And I basically was cross-addicted because I was doing both of those bad habits together, combining them to try to get as high as possible.
Why do you want to get as high as possible? What was the cause?
I wanted to die.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
And I love the way alcohol and the marijuana made me feel. I was able to escape reality because I wasn't able to accept my reality of where I was living back at my mom's house on probation and just no driver's license because it was suspended, and just overweight. I overcame depression, and it was such a low bottom for me to experience that in order for me to even make it this far, I had to start believing in God, and I started to pray. I asked him for help when I was in jail, and just through his mercy and grace, I was able to overcome all of those obstacles that I basically caused myself through my own actions. And it's almost like I had to do what I had to do to get me to where I am today. A lot of people want the quick fix, or they want the get rich quick scheme, but they don't want to flip burgers at McDonald's. They just want it right now, right here, and that's what I had to do. Is I had to get a job at McDonald's. I was flipping burgers in the back. I basically had to work my way here. So that's why every time I show up into a room, I want to make sure that I'm the hardest worker in that room, because I'm also built for it. Because being at the bottom for so long, I only had one other option, and that was to climb back out of hell. So every day I have to fight for my recovery. I have to choose to stay sober. I do it one day at a time. I don't drink or drug no matter what. I just recently lost my grandfather. He passed away.
I'm sorry for that.
And I stayed sober through it. So if I can stay sober through it, I also believe you and anyone who's watching this can stay sober too. It's not easy to stay sober with the world that we live in today, because alcohol and drugs are highly promoted in today's society, but it's not the right thing to do. Choosing what is hard will give you an easy life, but if you do what is easy, you're gonna have a hard life. And for me, I choose the hard life because staying sober is not easy. Most people don't want to get sober or stay sober. So it's basically live or die. Alcohol and drugs is a slow death. You only have 3 options when you choose to pick up. That's jails, institutions, and death. I've already experienced 2 of those, jails and institutions. I've been to both. And I didn't like jail, so I know I won't like prison. And today I want to live life to the fullest with whatever short amount of time that I have left on this earth. I want to make sure that I always say yes to an opportunity, say yes to helping another person out, say yes to helping someone else achieve sobriety, because at the end of the day, you could be saving their life. And it's important to make the right decisions in this life, because it's a gift to be alive. And by making the right decisions, you're able to build a bright future for yourself and for your family and possibly for your children. And what type of legacy do you want to leave behind? Do you want to choose and live in a country that has given us so much freedom? Or do you want to live in a jail cell just because maybe you killed someone in a DUI or drunken driving while intoxicated, and you maybe hit someone and got into an accident and took their life away? So every choice that we make begins with putting the right foot forward and trying to be the best version of ourselves as best we can. I didn't think I would make it this far, being not only 33 years old, but I never dreamed I'd be living in California again. Los Angeles is a place of dreams can come true, and I definitely don't want to take it for granted, because once it's gone forever.
Absolutely agree with you. I just moved here to LA 2 months ago, and I'm discovering so much interesting things about myself, about people who live in there, about the opportunities which literally I am on every step, on every right area in the city. And the city inspires me. I understand you, Martyn. And all of this way you just described, it's really a great way, wise words, and can I step more further at the story to understand some questions more?
Absolutely.
So right now, when you are sober, but there is still triggers, to drink alcohol or to smoke weed. Sometimes you're in the surroundings. So let's start with the surroundings. Sometimes you're in a company, on a party, you're still visiting some parties, you still, hang out with the people. How do you stay absent when somebody is smoking weed in literally meters from you?
I have to use the tools that I've been given, which some of the tools that I use are remember every moment passes, so if I can just get through whatever moment I'm in that situation, if I can get out of it sober, then I've won. And it's about, if you're struggling in a situation, to maybe change your people, places, and things, but sometimes we can't always do that because maybe life will call us to a place where there are drugs and alcohol. So I have to remember what it felt like when I was in jail, where I once was, and where I'm heading. And I know if I go back to drinking and drugging, I could end up back in jail or prison, and I don't want to go back there. So I call people, I pick up the phone, I make a phone call, or I say a silent prayer in my head, ask God to help keep me sober in this situation, and just lean towards God. And if I can maybe call someone, that will help by talking to them, and it gets me out of my head, because sometimes you are your own worst enemy, and sometimes we need people to rely on to help get us through whatever difficult time that we're going through. And it's not easy when you're in tough situations in life, and the only way for you to get out of those situations is to make the right decision, because one costly decision could change your life for the worse. And it's important to really try our best to make the right decisions. And for eating wise, I eat healthy. And when I was battling depression, I was obese. My doctor said I was morbid obese when I went in for a physical. And that was a wake-up call for me too. I had to look at myself in the mirror and ask myself, how did I get this big? I needed to make a change, and that's what I've been constantly striving towards, is continually trying to evolve into a better human being. And some tools will help in certain situations and some won't. You just have to continue trying to learn as much as you can, and more will be revealed as life goes on.
Can I ask you something about history of your addiction? Because we're talking more about 5-6 years ago, but addiction, it's all about the easy shortcut to deal with your problems. Would you agree with me on that?
It is, it's an easy way out.
Yes, exactly. So my question is, have you been using easy way outs before, on your teenage age, on your childhood? When you're noticing yourself to using shortcuts and using them way too much than you should?
When I was younger, I used to drink just occasionally. I was drinking at parties just socially, to help socialize, because it was an easy way for me to communicate with people, was when I was drunk. And eventually it turned into drinking every day, to where I needed to have it just to get me through today. And that's when the drinking became not so much fun anymore.
So can I take this moment a little bit longer about the changing from doing it socially to doing it every day? How does it start? What do you feel when you go through it? Do you feel like it takes your money away, your time, relationships with the people?
It took everything away from me. It took away my dreams. It started with one drink.
How fast it was, and how exactly it was changing? So so people who may be who watching it right now and may be standing in the middle of it, they would understand exactly step by step how it would go.
It can happen really fast. It can happen whether you see it or not. Other people around you can see it before you see it. And it takes hitting rock bottom in order for you to see it. But before you actually see it, it's happening. Other people, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your colleagues, they'll see it happening in you. And little negative consequences will start coming up in your life, and you'll start to maybe blame other people. And then finally, when shit hits the fan, it's really a great day for you because it opens your eyes onto how big of a hole that you can actually dig yourself into just from taking one drink or one hit off of weed.
So that is actually a very interesting moment you right now said about that you sort of blind, you didn't see the problem until actually rock bottom happened.
Right.
So why do you think you start blaming others? What is it? It's a self-protection reaction, or what is that?
It's a way for people to play the victim role, and when someone plays the victim role, they're not accepting full responsibility for their actions. They chose to drink, they chose to drug, but it was the cops' fault for arresting me, when really it was my fault because I was the one who drank and drove in the first place. And that's what led me to get sober. Was I got arrested for an OWI, which is operating while impaired, from marijuana. And when I was in jail detoxing, I was so angry at the police officer for arresting me. But looking back at it, it changed my life for the better because he actually saved my life by putting me in handcuffs and throwing me in the back of the cop car, because it forced me to get sober. You know, I don't think if I would have ever got arrested that day for marijuana, I would probably be dead or in prison.
So why do you think people learning their lessons only in the most hardest way? Why you cannot just listen somebody wise who told you you shouldn't do that. It's not smart. It's it's bad for your health. It's every bottle of alcohol will have them notice, oh, it's dangerous for your health. You better not to do it a lot. Every bottle says it, but people never listen. Why do you think people start to listening to those things only when they got on that type of situation you got?
I think it's because we live in a alpha dog mentality type of world where I've made it this far, I don't need anyone's help, or I don't need to listen to anyone. But at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we need each other to go to for advice or guidance. Like when you get sick, you don't just heal yourself, you pray and you go to a doctor to get you the right medication for whatever disease or sickness that you have. And that takes a hard pill to swallow, is asking another person for help, because I can't do it on my own. And when I was younger, it was hard for me to listen to other people because I thought I knew everything. When in reality, I don't know much. I don't know what's happening in this world. All I know is I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm somewhat healthy, and I have another second opportunity at life because God woke me up today.
So, on the way of your recovery, have you ever found somebody who would mentor you through sort of somebody with more experience, somebody who you feel trustful to listen to?
I have a mentor, I have a sponsor, and I have a good group of friends who I can count on, and they can count on me, that in any type of environment that I get placed in, I have someone to reach out to, and they'll pick up the phone and they'll help guide me through that situation that I'm in, and vice versa. And that's important to have in this world. It's important to hang with the winners, because not everyone in this world is a winner. Some people continually make mistakes, but they don't learn from the mistakes. And that's what separates the winners from people who aren't winning, is you have to learn from your mistakes in order to have a better future or to change. Because if you're not changing or growing, you're essentially dying. Because as soon as our bodies come into this world, our bodies are decaying. The older we get, we lose minerals in our bones, our teeth lose enamel. So I take 7 vitamins every night.
What is a vitamin? The might share with us?
A vitamin, I take vitamin C, vitamin B6, B12, I take calcium pills, I take collagen, I take biotin, and I take turmeric, which helps strengthen your teeth. And it's important to try to stay as healthy as we can, because health is wealth, and I feel better knowing that I take vitamins, because the vitamins can help my immune system as different seasons of life come, such as winter. People tend to get sick more frequently during winter time, but if I am constantly taking vitamin C every day, I have a greater chance at fighting off a cold flu when it comes time for winter.
I'm sorry, are you doing cold showers?
I do cold showers, I do warm showers, I do the cold plunges, I do the sauna.
Cool.
I do those at least 5 days a week, and I sit in the sauna longer than most people can, just because I've put hundreds and thousands of hours by myself in a sauna with no headphones, no cell phone, just myself and God. And it's a place where I feel peace. It's a place where I go to relax, and I always feel better when I get out of the sauna.
Have you ever saw championship competitions of sauna people? There is competitions for the people in sauna who can stay longer in the sauna, and they go world championships. They take the maximum temperatures possible and times, and you can really go on YouTube for it, because when I accidentally saw the shows, the only way to people was staying there, it was a gut connections. That was they was taking their mind just out of their body. And that's if you have this stamina to do some sauna, that's that's a thing you may need to resort, and you would be interested in it.
Right. I'll have to look into that.
Sure. And before so let's go again little bit back, because you see, I want to go back to the moment when you was on the rock bottom, when you was after the jail, not aware of drug license, doing burger in a McDonald's. You see, and at this moment, when you're alone, when you don't have a support, it's very easy to fall, even to the wrong company. You may connect with some gang, or you may just connect with some unambitious people who playing PS5 all day long. Streamers, whatever community you would find, because it's just if you're broken alone, it's very easy to step to the wrong community. So I want to ask you, do you had do you had the chances to step to the wrong community? How do you became to find right people who would help you out eventually?
Honestly, I just went to God first, and by praying to God, He put the right people in my life at the right time who helped keep me on the straight and narrow path, which led me back to California, living my dreams of being an actor again. And so when I say it's really all God, He's he's really the reason how I've made it this far. Is I just prayed and I just did the next right thing. You know, I show up to work, I do positive actions by going to the gym, building my life brick by brick, and just trusting and having faith in him that it's going to be okay, which it will be okay. And just his mercy and grace has kept me alive.
Would you say that you're more spiritual person or more Christian? So what is the way, God for you, and do you connect yourself with any sort of religion?
I connect myself to Christianity, and I believe God is love, and he loves all of us, every one of us on this earth, and we have the right to choose his love or not. And I surround myself with people who choose God's love and who are positive and caring, kind people. And if I come across someone who's not kind and caring, sometimes I have to step away from that friendship or relationship and take a step back and regroup and refocus and remember that they might be having a bad day or struggling with something going on in their life, and that doesn't necessarily make them who they are, because everyone has a bad day. I even have bad days some days, and I can be a grumpy bear, and no one wants to hang around a negative attitude.
Sure.
And so it's just important to try our best to stay positive.
Yeah, absolutely right. And also my question is, are you grown up in a big city, small city? What was the population of the place?
I come from a small city of a population of around 2,000, where everyone in the town knows everyone's business, whether you want them to or not. It is what it was. And when I moved to LA, it wasn't a culture shock because I kind of expected it to be overpopulated and traffic every day. And so I accepted that challenge of when I moved out here. I knew that it was going to be like that, but I realized that in order to get to certain places in life, different levels, it really comes through other people giving you an opportunity or opening up a door for you, and you having the courage and faith and the willingness to say, yes, I'll show up for you, I will do this for you, no matter if I get paid or not. I've done a lot of acting gigs in my life where I've never gotten paid, and I've been an actor for 16, 17 years now, and I never had a backup plan. I never went to college, so I'm not one of these actors you may see on TV who are kind of programmed into what they want. I kind of fit outside of a box.
Talking about alcohol, what is your biggest struggle? Tell us about your biggest movie.
I'm actually preparing right now for my biggest role in a movie. I've been in 28 movies, and I currently am working on my first movie as a lead actor, which is going to be filming in the next couple months. I can't say too much about it right now, but you can follow me on social media or Instagram and stay in touch with what's coming.
Yes, definitely what we do is, it's a couple months and 6 months and we'll see the movie. Yes.
Hopefully everyone has an opportunity to watch this movie, and hopefully it can help someone escape their reality for a couple hours, and they can enjoy it and be happy and satisfied with what they just saw.
So if you have like after all of this like bad stage in life, you got your connection with the God. What God's telling to you for you to do, besides being kind, besides giving yourself full to the work, what else God telling you to do? Where to where to take this life?
He's honestly just telling me to do the right thing and to help someone else out.
So how do you think you would help someone else out, or maybe you helping right now somebody else out? Tell us about that.
Getting them sober, and helping them through the process of the 12 steps, and to stay away from drugs and alcohol.
Sure.
But it's not easy. Not everyone is willing to do it, but it's just sharing my experience, strength, and hope can hopefully be a light in someone's darkness.
Have you been yourself been in a group of anonymous alcoholics or something?
Am I
Because there's a communities for anonymous alcoholics, anonymous
I have a big community of friends.
who goes through the similar experiences.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find these people?
Through asking for help,
Like
or
better
reaching out to someone. You can find there's meetings everywhere.
No, but can you tell us more, because maybe somebody watching and and they deciding for themselves, oh, I'm actually in trouble, so let's help these people to find the way to go to this meeting. You just so whenever you leave, you just put on a Google, and Google will probably tell you the nearest one. But the problem is a lot of people live in in a small communities. Do you think your hometown where 2,000 people have these groups? Do they have
Every city, every state has a way you can get help, or a place where you can go that's safe. Whether it's churches, the gyms, just safe places.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's actually very right. That even in small cities or even villages, there's still people who doing right activities, like going to the church or going to the gym or doing some sports. And if you really open your eyes and start to looking around, you would find somebody, even if you're living in a quite small community. Or if you're living in the small community when you're sure that there is nobody who may help you with, you can go online, and if online didn't satisfy you, you can move. It's nothing to afraid to move from one place to another place. When you first time move out from your birth town, have you been afraid to move to other place? Do you have any?
I've always wanted to live in LA.
Oh.
So this is the only place where I want to live.
So you never been living in other places, only your hometown and LA?
I've only lived in my hometown and in Los Angeles, California.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I want to spend the rest of my life, is California.
You're straight oriented. I like this. You move just once in your life, and you know exactly where you move into your dream. That's I like the standard.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
thank man. Yeah, you have a busy schedule. I think you go in.
Yeah, I have to